This week on The Grind, we follow the big push to the Missouri River as Slough Country locks up and find the Golden Pond.
I yearn for a place to call my own. I'm going home. Say what you will, I'll be better for it still. I've been wondering what you're doing with your time, just to get you off my mind. I'm in the grind.
The Grind Waterfowl TV is brought to you by Dakota Decoy, premium gunning decoys for demanding hunters. Lucky Duck, masters of deception. Kent Cartridge, quality matters and performance counts. Mud Buddy, the king of mud motors. Excel, the boat to own. Cornerstone Gundog Academy, the most accessible online retriever training program. Yoder Smokers, handcrafted in the heartland. Sitka Gear, turning clothing into gear. Rig 'em Right Waterfowl, the industry leader in specialty waterfowl products. OnX Hunt, know where you stand. Benelli, simply perfect. And these fine sponsors. This segment is brought to you by Dakota Decoy.
It was getting cold, the water was freezing, there was snow everywhere, but I was pumped. I knew if they were leaving northern South Dakota, they were headed to the Missouri River. So that was our next stop, bring the boys down to my stomping grounds on the Missouri River. But the river had been running high all summer, another flood year. And the worst part about it is when it floods like that, the bottom doesn't disappear, it's building up. It's coming back to the surface. So when the water does go back down, you have more sand than you had before it actually started flooding. So the spot I'd picked out to hunt that first day was a chute that we'd just been, it had been spectacular. And when the birds were in there, they were at 10, 15 yards. We tried really hard to get in there in the morning, but the water was down to the point we couldn't get the boat in.
Tell you what, if the water goes down though, we'd be screwed. Yeah, we can't hunt it. We've had really high water conditions on the Missouri River this year, and we hit December 1 and they're starting to drop it. We're still gonna have good water, but just not the water we've had. So this particular spot is the only spot we found all year that we could wade, and now it's shallow enough now we're gonna have to go to a little deeper hole. We have a backup plan.
We'd found this other little hole. If we could get in there, I knew it might be something special. And to get to it, you basically had to go through a bunch of phragmites. Once you got through some phragmites, there was a little chute going into it.
There she is.
The flood had created the spot. That spot had not been there before. It was beautiful. It was a perfect round little hole. It had a nice big beaver hut inside it that we could get the boat kind of tucked up behind. It just had this feel to me like it could be the spot.
This hole that we found it by accident last year. The Niobrara River had flooded, and we had a blind that got left out here last year and floated up over the poles and actually drifted upriver, so the wind must have been howling out of the north when it broke. And we found this little hole back in here that's just really hidden. It's pretty cool. It's deep though, 6-7 foot deep. Long cords. Oh boy. Hope that's not a sign.
Our first day out wasn't the greatest hunting. We shot some ducks, but I knew, I've been there enough. I knew the birds had gotten there. Typically when they first get in there, it's like they might rest a day. They aren't acclimated with the area. We didn't see that many, but I saw enough to know that we had picked up new birds.
Well, we're on fire. We just got our second drake of the day. We have probably seen 20 ducks today. Once we got set up and hunted. There were some divers moving early.
pretty quiet out here. I think they're here. I don't think they're moving. We'll find out. We got 3 days to get them. We were a little nervous. The boys were a little nervous. I was very confident that the next couple days could be something special.
This segment is brought to you by Lucky Duck Premium Decoys.
Once we got the boat into this new spot on day 1, I was pretty darn sure day 2 and 3 were going to be special days. We looked at the weather, we had sun, the perfect wind, and it was going to be game on, and it was.
Bill has spent thousands of days hunting this river, and you could see the excitement. There was snow and ice to the north, a perfect wind, perfect sun, and hopefully, fresh birds. Just as the lucky ducks were put in place and the Excel was hid, the flight began.
Told ya. Told ya. Day 2, after they've got here, they've found us. Here they come back. Call, Pat. Call. One of my biggest challenges every morning is where to put the lucky ducks. And this was the one downside of this spot is everything had to be done from a boat. First got them out, got back to the boat, I watched how the first bunch of ducks reacted and thought I need to move the lucky ducks. I get the mud boat out, head out, pick the lucky duck pole up and the one lucky duck that I thought needed moved. And the boys started hollering at me, looked up, and there was a lot of ducks trying to land on the mud boat. So it was kind of cool. That's when I knew it was game on. Pair. You got a drake taken. Good shot. Hank.
Boy, they got past the lake and just turned right around, didn't they?
Need another half hour of sunlight so I can see.
Pair out front.
Oh, here's 4. There's 4, straight away.
Get in that grass. They like that grass. Get him, Pat. Hank. There's more what I've been witnessing.
Yeah. Got up,
We
stood on the shell.
nicknamed each other 3-Shot O'Reilly.
I stood up, stood up on a shell.
No, but this, we've always said this type of day, if you had to have 2 hours to hunt, give me 9:30 to 11:30. Sleep in, get out here. The ducks coming back from the fields, they're easy ducks then. You got just enough time to grab your call, pretend like you called them in. Oh, right in front.
Here, straight out.
Hank. God, they are pretty though, aren't they? See, oh, those are geese going away. So the ducks just show up. Those came from behind us.
Big flock left up top.
Keep on them.
This segment is brought to you by Kent Cartridge.
Here we go. Get one. Susie.
Susie, my fault. My bad.
The hardest part, and there's only 2 of us shooting, is you're trying to get them right for everyone, and you in a large group. Hank. So you're trying to call the shot right, and they were just perfect for a minute, and then they banked off to the right, and then I was kind of glaring back toward the sun, and I couldn't pick out a drake, so I didn't shoot. But
I couldn't find a drake, and then that one.
there were a lot of brown in that bunch. Did you notice that? But it's 9:30. It's duck time. Breakfast is being served, and that's when they always disrupt you. My pancakes are getting cold. And honestly, they just kind of kept coming like that. Nice little bunches of 10, 12, 15. If we'd have had 4 guns blazing, it would have ended quick. But it was just Pat and myself, and we were being selective on our shots, just taking the cherries, occasionally taking turns. We wanted it to last. I knew it was going to be one of those special mornings, and why make it end quick? We wanted it to stretch out a bit. There we go.
Nice shot, Bill.
Thank you. Hank. He launches, doesn't he? Even in the score out here finally. Pat was getting a little bit ahead of me earlier.
I was up.
The sun to your back makes a huge difference.
Right to left.
Do it, Pat. She's not hit, she just landed.
We do something with this one?
Can you pop him with the 20?
Hank. How pretty was that, boys? That was awesome. They just show up.
Those birds came right out of the sun.
Good boy. Here, 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 here. Hey, here, heel. Heel. Back. That was really cool. These sunny days, they just appear, don't they, Pat?
Yeah, they came right out of the sun.
Hank, over.
That duck is sitting upright.
There, he's got him. You know what amazes me? How they can breed that into an animal. They want those birds so bad. That was a nice bunch.
That was a no muss, no fuss.
Yeah, we're 1 duck shy.
Hey guys, I'm Barton Ramsey and this is a Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy training tip, and today I want to talk about heat stroke. Heat stroke is very common with dogs, and we see it a lot in teal season or dove season when the temperatures are a little bit warmer. You want to make sure that your dog is in the shade, that there's airflow, not in a closed space or a blind, but there's airflow because dogs cool by evaporation. If you notice your dog getting warm, you can pour some water on the dog's belly or on the dog's paws because this is where evaporation takes place the quickest. You don't want to overload your dog with a bunch of drinking water because this is not the way that dogs cool down. You do want to make sure that they have the proper amount of electrolyte, so they do need some water, but not too much. If your dog does have a heat stroke, you'll notice the dog begin to be dizzy, the dog will lose drive, the dog's tongue will be hanging out severely, and the dog may lay down or roll over. If this happens, you want to quickly put alcohol, rubbing alcohol, or water on the dog's stomach. Get the dog into an area where you can blow air across the dog via a fan or an air conditioner.
This segment is brought to you by Mud Buddy and Excel Boats.
Coming right to left.
No more joining them.
Good shot, Bill.
Hank. These are definitely new ducks, gentlemen. They're still trying to land after we've shot. Golden Pond. Can we name it that now, Pat?
I think we're in.
That was a good hunt.
That was a great hunt.
You know, one thing Pat and I have hunted together for probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years, maybe longer. And it's kind of odd now because, I mean, we're both older and a lot of young kids hunt in big mobs of guys, you know, 5, 10, 15 guys. The old school hunting partner is almost done. I mean, it used to be every guy had a hunting partner, and that's the two of you went and hunted ducks. And Pat and I still do that almost every day. It's pretty cool. Cool tradition.
I had to quit talking, I almost cried.
I did.
I did. I'm not gonna lie to you, I got teary-eyed there. You too?
Yeah, I still got it going.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
But it's pushing 30 years. Yeah, that was cool.
Only certain people can create a lifelong friendship over a nice wind, sunny skies, and a sky full of greenheads. To the uninitiated, it's hard to understand, but to a duck hunter, there's no better friendship than the one forged in a duck blind.
We're on day 2 of our South Dakota mallard hunt, and we're welcoming Yoder smokers to the Grind family. And we got a nice limit of fat corn-fed mallards this morning. We got them picked. We're gonna fire up the new Yoder smoker. Just got this thing. I couldn't believe how easy this thing is to run. But it's cold out, so they supplied us with insulated covers for it too, which in South Dakota, when we're trying to smoke and grill in single digits, it's a necessity. So they were kind enough to give us that too. So we're gonna fire this thing up really for the first time. South Dakota mallards are gonna go in there once we get up to temp. Basically, we power it on. I hit the start button. You dial up, it's all digital temperature. A little change of plan. We're gonna do these a little hotter than I normally do. We're gonna try at 450. We'll probably only go like 40 minutes. Typically, other smokers won't get this hot. It's cold out tonight too with a big north wind. This sucker got hot fast and it's holding its temp. So we're gonna go 450 degrees for about 40 minutes. We're gonna plop these South Dakota mallards on this baby, let it do its work. All we've done to these is put some oranges and some onion in the cavity. Gives it a little flavor, but keeps it from cooking from the inside out. There we go. We won't open that thing up again for about, I'll probably come and pop it open in about 30 minutes, just take a peek.
A late night plucked duck meal with our day's reward was the perfect cap to the perfect hunt.
Skin's like candy, boys.
Seriously, that is really good. You could serve that to anyone, they wouldn't know it was duck.
So the boys were here for one more day on our 3rd day of hunting. Pretty much the same conditions. We had good sun, a little less wind, which I only like a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind anyway, hunting on water. I like it enough wind to give them direction, but not enough wind that they can sit and hover and pick things out. They either have to get down or get out of there. And that's exactly what we had.
There he is. Attaboy. Hey.
Get one, Pat.
Shoot him, Pat.
That was cool. Hank! Hank! Pat had to booger out early today, and we needed 2 ducks to fill my limit. There's current over there. It's floating through the chute. He'll find it. Oh, I think he got it. I heard a... This day 3 hunt, as it turns out, was actually Hank's last filmed hunt with us for the year. Sean and Max left. Of course, I don't quit hunting when the boys leave. We went out for a couple days. The next week, I noticed Hank was limping a little bit, and by the end of the day, he wasn't walking on his foot. And what had happened is he'd shoved a Phragmite right through his foot. He'd basically chewed a hole in his foot and gotten it out. So it was pretty ugly, but that was the end of Hank's hunting season with us, which broke my heart. I mean, Hank, as you'll see, he's something special. I hope we get him back this next year, because he's the real deal. He's unbelievable.
Next week on The Grind, we head to Arkansas to hunt with our great friends at Goose Farms.